We are alive,
And we are alive.
still alive. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So good to be back after some difficulties of technologies and all of that Mercury stuff that is happening now astrologically. Anyway, we are here and we are really glad to bring this topic up. So, first of all, welcome back to our beautiful space, our podcast of Tilly Lily and the universe. And today we are going to talk about really funny and interesting topic and pretty serious, I would say at the same time. It's Mambo Jambo spiritual guidance, how spirit speaks to you. So we are going to share, like me and Tilly, we are going to share how spirit speaks to us. So then you can see, maybe you can relate to what we say. Maybe you were never aware about that. So that's the spirit that was speaking to me. I'm not crazy, or I'm normal, or it's when somebody validates your experience. So I really wish that the message that we are going to convey here, that reaches those people that need this message the most. And let's begin. Then I would love to start actually with a funny fact from my personal life that uh, I would like to start from very funny fact that uh, from okay, it's not that funny, but from very early age in my life, I was into spirituality and I didn't know that. Of course, I was a very religious kid. I was grown up. I was raised in a very religious family, but also I was raising those fundamental questions about life, about God, about existence. And this pattern of my character was only evolving with the time. And so many people along my journey of life were calling me Mumbo Jumbo. Like, Lily, again, you're with your mumbo jumbo stuff. Nobody cares or nobody understands. Or as if it is not important, something that people couldn't relate to. So that's why today we are doing mumbo jumbo, because what we are going what we are about to share, not many people understand, but we are here to bring it up. So, Tilly, I would love to hear from you. Have
Yeah,
you ever been called a mumbo jumbo person?
for sure, 100%. Yeah, in Dutch, I think the word is different. I can say it in Dutch. It's zweverig, and it means literally zweven means to float somewhere, like high up in the sky. In English, I think the closest would be airy fairy, something that you're not a practical person, you're somewhere out there, and definitely not in what we call the consensus reality. So that's yeah, people definitely have called me that. And for a long time I also thought I was actually maybe this silly crazy person until, well, it could be still, you never know, but I meet more and more people that resonate, and now I feel more truth in these topics. Yeah.
Yeah, what I hear from you that you were called like up in the clouds, right?
Yeah. That's a good translation actually of zweverig. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the best part of it is that we finally bring that knowledge from up on the clouds down to earth. So that's
Yeah.
what we with this
Yeah.
episode.
Nice. I like that. Yeah.
So also, what is the main way, not main, the most common way how spirit communicates with you?
Um, there are several, but maybe the most common I would say an inner voice, sometimes very clear, and dreams, but also messages through.
Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop. That inner voice. What do you mean inner voice? Does it like sound of the man? Do you hear the voice of the man, of the woman, or what is inner
It's
voice?
really hard to tell how I would describe the voice because in a way it's without speaking, but it still is. Uh, I find it hard to describe the voice. I can say it sometimes comes in English, sometimes Dutch. So that I know, but it's mostly, yeah, I feel, phew, I never really thought of that if it's a male or female voice. It's interesting. It's inside your mind, so it doesn't really have a sound, but you still hear it. Pretty
So
mysterious.
is it in the form of thoughts?
Yes, but I can. Well, that's the thing. I cannot always distinguish if it's my own thoughts or if it's a clear inner voice. But it does come in a different way. It's usually one sentence out of nowhere, pretty powerful, and then I feel okay. Maybe I should listen to this, or this is a message coming through. Um,
Give us the example when you received that voice.
um, well, one time I was wanting to move to a new city, and I literally had the voice saying, "You are going to Madrid, Matilda." But I never even thought of that city to move there. And that's why I thought, like, where is this coming from? And I started to doubt it. Is it just a random thought popping up in my mind? But because I never ever even thought of moving there, it felt quite powerful. And then eventually I did move there also. Or uh, lately I have one recurring one, which is doing things in a hurry is never a good idea. And I realized that's definitely spirit saying to me that I should be more in the moment. And um, also with a tarot card, I pulled the same card. So that felt, yeah, those messages sometimes come through. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I can relate to you as well. Even though I knew what that inner voice is and how it feels and sounds, but it's good to give more clarity for people. And yeah, inner voice, for me personally, also manifests in two ways. That inner voice that comes in the shape and form of thoughts, as you mentioned. Um, and in my example would be when I am thinking something and then interruption happens and like as if tries to stop me from thinking that thought and like very contradicting thought just cuts the stream of my lower ego thinking and then I'm like what, and I know that I need to listen to that because it came out of nowhere. When I know that I didn't think that thought, I know that I'm communicating with the spirit.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, and the same when I'm speaking with people, uh, when I speak and something that is not coming from spirit, if my speaking is not coming from spirit, spirit will let me know by shutting off the stream of my lower ego. And it's like I just start wobbling and I don't have what to say and I forgot what I wanted to say. And I'm like, okay, I need to listen to spirit in order to speak correctly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful.
And another way, so first way is the thought. Another way that inner voice comes, it came twice in my life through hearing that voice outside, but nobody else was able to hear that voice.
Yeah.
For example, when I got a vision, it's another way how spirit communicates with me, also, like giving me, sometimes, it's very, very rarely, giving me visions. And at that time I got acoustic message that the voice even sounded like not mine. I was like, what? So yeah, those inner voice can be both ways, in the form of thought or in the form of acoustic that only you can hear and nobody else.
And are you able to describe the inner voice in male female, or is it the same as me? It's hard to tell.
Actually, I also never thought about it,
Mm.
so
Yeah, it was an interesting
no,
thing.
I can't. It's just pure existence of unity, probably.
Yeah,
That's the best. Actually, it doesn't even matter.
true. No, I was just curious. Yeah, with the interruption, I can definitely relate. I remember once I had some judgmental thoughts about a lady I lived for a while. And then I literally got interrupted with a voice saying, "Yes, Matilda, she's very complicated, just like you," or something like that. It's sort of it's sort of like a spirit slaps you in the face, and that's so chill because then you get, yeah, how do you call this? A bit down to earth again, and your ego knows its place, so to say. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was good. And that's a fact that spirit always has a humor.
Mm,
And actually, you reminded me now, I had a very similar situation when I was so deeply concerned about some topic. And I was like, oh my God, spirit, help me. And I was so much reaching out to spirit. And you know what I heard? The answer was, Lily, why are you such a drama queen? Life is more simple than that, than this.
love it. That's really
Like,
true.
don't make it so serious. What happened?
Nice. That's really funny. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Okay, so tell me about another way how spirit communicates with you.
Um, yeah, with using technology, I would say, or in videos or commercials, or when you walk outside and you suddenly see a poster with the message that you needed to hear. And it's always pretty magical because sometimes it feels like just the algorithm of YouTube, for example, but sometimes you really feel like, oh, this video is brought to me here. Um, or like I said, posters happen to me a lot as well, or graffiti. It's just beautiful messages outside. Yeah.
Give the example because I believe people who are not familiar with such information, they might not understand you. What do you mean, videos, graffitis?
Well, I can give one example of 2 weeks ago. I was actually longing to move and to travel and to leave everything behind, something, feeling like that. And then I watched a YouTube video of a breathing exercise guy on YouTube, which I follow over already a year. And all his videos just is him breathing. But this one at the end had a quote, and it was from a wise Buddhist man. And he said something as, "You have to make the place where you live so much fun that you don't even feel the desire to move." It was not that I'm not allowed to travel of a universe, but it was for me a lesson to make it first here beautiful and full of love. And for me, yeah, a quote at the end of the video which I never saw before, and exactly in the theme of what I was experiencing in the morning, was really a sign like, stay here. you're not you're not yet ready to travel. That's how I interpreted it. And yeah.
Okay, so you mean that when you have some concern about life, about some decisions, when you need the answer, that spirit gives you the answer through different physical signs in your physical environment, such like billboards in the street, like random sentence in the movie, and you just pick up on it and feel in your heart that in your gut that, oh, that was special for me, that answer, right?
That's a great summary. Also, the last thing you say, because you see a lot of things all day, but indeed you feel when it like, oh, this was meant for me. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. Or songs, maybe. Don't know if you have that with a
Oh,
song and a message.
yeah, I do have, but with the songs, actually, I want to ask you because I had very intense experience in 2018, um, when my YouTube, imagine, out of nowhere, suddenly was full of recommendations only of the songs. While before, I was learning how to develop websites, how to do the design, how to something about PR, about astrology. I started learning. So algorithm supposed to offer me those topics, and I was looking for the topic that I needed to learn about for my job, but Spirit was like, no, here you are, bunch of songs, and I'm not kidding you. I was scrolling. When will I find my topic? And it was only songs. And um,
But what kind
I
of
ref-
songs? What was the message then, you think?
so I refused. I refused to open. It was all about love. It was, yeah, it's about forgive me. The topic about
Mm.
was forgive me. And I was like, I'm not going to open the song because I will mess up with the algorithm. So I went to sleep. I woke up next day with the expectation that that hilarious story will be over and I will have my normal algorithm. Guess what? I opened YouTube, and this time still the same songs, exactly the same songs, but this time the thumbnail of the video is not as just a photo. It's lyrics white on black or
Oh yeah,
black on
so you had
white.
to face it. Like here, look at
Yeah,
it.
in your face, Lily, look at it. But you know what? I wouldn't say that it's spirit. And that's where we need actually to discern better because we people communicate with one another telepathically. And that was a message of one person who felt sorry for um, what he did. It was his way to approach because he was too insecure to do it physically. So he was sending messages in that way. And yeah, so I want to ask you, are you sure the songs lyrics, or maybe you are getting different kind of songs, so then you know that it's from spirit and not from another person.
Yeah, indeed. I never personally had the connection made that it might be from another person. It could be, but it for me it's more songs of, for example, walking in the supermarket and then let go, let go, let go of everything. I'm like, no, that's spirit, definitely. Yeah.
Ah, okay, so it
So
depends on the message.
yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I did have maybe sometimes in dreams really yeah connections with other people, but for me the signs I always got felt from spirit. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, looks like it's possible that spirit also likes technologies.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if I shared that or no, but when you told that you got a message from a billboard, me too, also the same. When I was a kid, I remember in my teenage age, it was like I was having the dilemma, the question, and I just raised my head in the bus, and it was literally the answer word to word, what I had to do. Or I had very big dilemma. I went from my room, also teenager, to take a glass of water, and my dad was watching movie Fast and Furious. I think it was Fast and Furious. uh I don't know, was that some kind of movie that it was Tom Cruise. And imagine Tom Cruise gave me the answer because it was word to word how what the thought was in my mind. He used exactly the same words to deliver me a message. I was shocked. At that time, I didn't believe in such things, but
What did he
it
say?
was
You want to
powerful.
share?
I don't remember. I,
Okay.
I didn't record it, and I wish I did, but from now on, I'm recording everything.
But
So
even though you didn't believe it then, you said you still experience it as such because you still remember it.
yeah, because it hit me so strong that
Mm.
I couldn't get rid of that feeling how powerful it was. I
Yeah.
just at that time I was too much living in the no, I wasn't. That's interesting. I wasn't living in the matrix. I was communicating with spirit like crazy, but I always discarded the spirit and I always thought that it's just my imagination.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're making up the story. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. What else, Tilly? How else spirit communicates with you?
Yeah, I would say intuition, but that's close to the inner voice. But sometimes you can feel, for example, more emotional in an emotional way, really, really excited about something or a little bit off. And that's definitely for me also a sign of a yes or no. Uh, Definitely excitement regarding certain things that just feels like it's pure love wanting or expressing itself through you. That feels great. Yeah, that's it. I think that was also my last way of speaking with spirit.
So intuition, how I understood that your intuition speaks through emotions, right?
Yeah,
And
it can
how
also be thoughts, but yeah, it's I always really feel it more as a feeling in my belly. I would name that intuition, but of course it can be many more things probably.
okay. So the feeling hits you in the belly and then you know the answer, right?
Yeah,
And you said that that feeling of unconditional love comes in and you know that this is intuition, right? I'm not sure if I understood that part.
yeah, it's more like sometimes I cannot really. It's really hard to give an example now, but there were experiences where I started to laugh, for example, really loud out of nowhere, or where I just feel so excited, and that's for me really a sign, intuitive sign of, uh, yeah, the confirmation of spirit, for example, that I'm on a good way. Or this is a good thing to do. Um, but yeah, I find it hard to describe. Already, when I said it was only in the belly, I'm not sure. Intuition can come in many ways, and I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
wa-
you have
I,
something to clarify about this.
I'm wondering when spirit tries to warn you about something that don't do, don't go, don't just don't. How does then feel for you? How does then your intuition speak to you?
Well, lately I have that with a lot of things, and then I started to wonder: is it now my mind, being a bit paranoid, or is it actually intuition saying don't do it? Especially with food, a lot, and with coffee and alcohol. So, but it can also be, stories you make up for yourself, like this is healthy, this is not. But then I find it hard to tell: is this really my intuition guiding me to not do it? Because then I just feel off or guilty when I, for example, do drink a wine. But I don't know if that's also intuition. That's yeah, hard to pinpoint.
Okay, so for now, looks like it's easier for you to in tune with a good feeling to recognize it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it's more clear. Yeah, because I
Okay.
always doubt if fearful thoughts is also intuition, or it's just your mind making up. I'm not sure if you have a similar experience.
That's such a typical experience, Tilly, of all empathic people, and especially those who just not start exploring it, but uh, okay. The point is that I was dismissing a lot what spirit was telling me about certain people in my life, um, and the messages were not good. The messages was I was feeling some anxiety next to some people, anger next to some people, and then by thought the message came that, hey, that person feels angry about you, or hey, something is happening, um, not good is happening with that person. That when it's anxiety, I know that I need to stay away. Before I didn't listen. Before I also was thinking that and like I was even punishing myself by saying that Lily, you're looking problems when there are no problems. But it was always spirit warning me like, Lily, don't. And I had to fail so many times in order to start discerning where is the voice of spirit and where is my mind. So it comes with the practice. Just
What?
if you pay attention, I would say pay attention to those icky feelings, because icky feeling doesn't mean that it's your ego. It's
Okay.
also a guidance system.
That's good to know. Yeah, that's interesting. So, if can you give a clearer example of the last thing you said? So you had negative thoughts about someone or your feelings, and that translated in a thought that they were angry at you, or it was a sign of uh, your spirits don't interact with them anymore.
Actually, okay, I will say like this. I was picking up the energy of the person towards me.
Okay.
Uh, like like my very close friend. Um, uh, for example, I shared with her my success story, what I achieved that day, and I felt a huge wave of negativity. And
Hmm.
I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't want to believe that my closest friend could feel that way about me succeeding.
Yeah.
And then thought came to me that, Lily, that's exactly what is happening. Listen to what you feel.
Okay. Wow.
So the feeling was not coming from spirit. The feeling was what my friend was feeling about me. But the
Yeah.
thought then came as confirmation from spirit that yes, it's true, don't doubt yourself.
Hmm. Nice.
So questioning what I'm feeling, spirit always, not, I don't know if always, but very often gives me a validation, the answer about
But
what I'm
how
questioning.
are you sure then, for example, that this validation is not just a thought you making up? It's really a message from spirit.
It also has its own feeling. How to describe it? Yeah, the same as I said before at the beginning, that it's interruption of thoughts. For example, I'm like experience that wave of negativity towards me, and I'm like, no, 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 Lily, it's just in your head. And with before even finishing thinking this thought of mine, I was interrupted
Hmm.
very aggressively with another thought.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I understand. And it's a clear difference. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that, oh, let's sit and think that.
Hmm.
It's not that. It was very fast, very clear cut. No, it is Lily.
Okay, cool.
So
I,
yeah,
yeah, I
tell me.
realized also just one message that I like to share that really came through me as well. With the woman that I live now, um, I heard many times my inner voice saying, "You are here." No, wait, she is here to lift you up, and you are here to ground her. So I thought to myself, okay, what does this mean? But every time I asked, why do I live now with the woman? Because it felt very meaningful. Then I got the same answer. She is here to lift you up. You are here to ground her. So at some point I thought, okay, I will share that with her. Oh, maybe I'm not sure. I already shared this with you, but okay. So then I told her, yeah, I'm here to ground you, and um, that's at least what a voice said. It may sound a bit weird. And then she mentioned that it really resonated and that it's is a message she got already her life. So that for me felt also like a confirmation to trust that voice more, and not to disregard it as, oh, this was just a random thought popping up in my head. Because
But
still I
that's a
find it
po-
hard to,
but that's the point, Lily. A random thought from the thought that is being synced, right? Because in order to sync the thought, you need to give time and momentum for that and
yeah,
and it's like putting my own effort to think that thought. But when the random thought happens, there's no effort being
true.
put in
That
there.
that's a really good distinction. I like that. Yeah.
So that's when the spirit speaks to you.
Hmm.
And to
Beautiful.
everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I have a few more ways how the spirit speaks. And at the end of our episode, we will ask spirit to speak through cards as well. So one of ways how spirit speaks to me is through the cards. And very recently, like yesterday, I had the experience when again I started adopting those insights that I was receiving from spirit. Because no, let's start from another thing, how spirit communicates with me. So yeah, the last few days, it started a few days before Easter and finished more or less today. Today I didn't feel so intense. Yeah, probably because I pulled the cards and I had no more doubts about it. So spirit was bombarding me with insights. And those also came as random thoughts, but those thoughts, like many different thoughts at the same time, and everything just connected, dots were connected, and I was shown a bigger picture of the situation, of the patterns, of all the relationships so far I had, and very specific relationships. And it just kind of, the feeling, the sensation was as if some curtain was opened, the veil was gone, and I was able to perceive the truth of the matter that I was dealing with. And it was really painful emotionally for me, that truth to realize about some people and about how my life was going. And I didn't want to believe. And then I got a scream from the spirit. It was in my gut, in my thoughts, in my whole body. Like, stop doubting yourself, Lily. Okay, now you can pull cards, because I have a deal with spirit that I will not use cards, because it's important for me to develop my own internal guidance, not to rely on external. But at that time, I got a green light and I opened the cards, tarot, not oracle, but tarot cards, and it was exactly the same story. about everything what spirit was telling me about that person was exactly the same showed in the cards. So this is another way how spirit speaks through connecting dots, giving those epiphany moments like aha, 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 and then during through the physical tools like cards. Then what else?
Yeah, tarot cards definitely, and but like you said, ended a good way of spirit to speak through. Yeah, or
Yeah,
other cards.
yeah, it does always. And what else? Ah, I think, but you didn't mention that. Like, the voice during the waking up stage. I know that
Oh
you
yeah,
also have that experience.
yeah, that's true.
So it's like clear audience. I read it somewhere. Like
Yeah.
when you hear the voice outside of your body, and it happens during that in that void space when we are transitioning from the sleep state into awake. I don't know which wave beta alpha is that, but in one of those waves we receive a message. So one time I received a message, it was, Lily, if you want for things to change, you need to change everything. And I was like, how smart is that? I mean, if I change everything, of course things will change. But how can I change something without changing anything?
Uh-huh. Nice.
Well, can you share your experience? What the messages you got?
Yes, I remember, I think 12 in my life or something. Well, one thing I remember now was everything that belongs to you will come to you. That was very beautiful. Also, in a time where it was 4 years ago, five, where it was a bit stressing about things or choices that I had to make. And it was kind of calming. It's what belongs to you will come to you. So no worries. Um, Yeah, one was related to society, from segregation to integration. Sounds a bit cryptical, but for me, it really felt like no worries about the situation on Earth, because it's all, yeah, in a sense, it seems now like segregation, which is happening, but it will be all right. That's at least the feeling I also felt with it. And I think in this waking state, it's for me more clear because there are no thoughts, so it's just this clear voice. Um, yeah, it's always more clear than during the day.
Yeah, and that's how you know for sure, 1000% that it came from spirit, because
Hmm.
there was in that void there is nothing, right? It is at least how I experience. E- Even there is no color. I don't know how to explain. Maybe dark, but not dark, and it's like space of nothingness,
Hmm.
and it
Beautiful.
just crosses the thought, the word, not thought, but the sound, the words, the
Yeah.
message. And actually, what in this way, when you receive the message, when I receive the message, sometimes it's specifically for us personally, sometimes it's for collective people. So that's how prophets also communicate with spirits, and it's their sole purpose actually to go and share with masses
Hmm.
about what spirit tells them about the future, or about what people need to transition, shift, and change in order to go to that future. So I have a feeling, Tilly, that probably you're not aware that you need to be more prophet in this world.
Hmm. That sounds cool. Yeah, I think definitely I need to trust more things I hear, and that is not just mumbo jumbo, but real powerful message. Yeah.
And Tilly, one of realizations of those epiphany moments that I have been experiencing lately is the fact that you will not be a prophet in your homeland or in your household. The prophet, and these are the words of Jesus actually. He told that a prophet has no honor in his land or his household. And I realized that it was exactly my story, that people in my closest environment, they were uh, pushing me down and belittling consciously or unconsciously. They never believed what I was doing, never believed what I was saying. They were not capable to perceive me with those abilities because people expect that everybody is the same as them, because the moment somebody is different, it threatens their own existence.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for them not to feel bad about themselves, they had to put me down so they feel better about themselves. That's why Jesus himself left homeland, and he was a prophet in other lands where people were able to perceive and understand him. So probably that's why you're about to move out, because then those energies of your homeland will not serve you as a blockage to be a prophet and trust yourself more.
Okay. That sounds definitely interesting. But I was actually planning on. I got the message to stay. That was the message was clear
Yeah,
to not move now. Yeah.
yeah, and how I understand. Do you want me to share how I understood that message?
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
That it's like wherever you run, you take yourself with. So you will
Mm-hmm.
not. So the message was, don't make your leaving as running from the problem.
Yeah.
Make your leaving as celebration of your success where you are now,
Make your okay. I have to reflect on that. Make your leaving a celebration.
of your
Hmm.
success for being here now.
Okay, I will remember that and
And
come
I
back
will
to
give
it.
you example. Example that with you might be. I mean, with music, with you and your music that you're creating. Don't leave your home with expectation to become famous somewhere else, because the energetic vibration is that I don't feel good, I don't feel seen at home, so I will find success somewhere else. Mm, persevere in your homeland with your music, make contacts, at least put effort into being seen with your music. And then when you build a base in your homeland, somebody will find you and offer you to travel.
Mm, sounds cool. I'm really excited about this vision of yours. Yeah.
I mean, take it only if it resonates.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, thank you for the clarification. But that means for now still that I have to stay for a while here. That's at
Well,
least
definitely listen to your guidance, but
yeah.
remember that message that you got when you were a kid, a teenage. What is yours?
Yeah, yeah. What belongs to you will come to you. Yeah,
Exactly.
nice. Thank you. Oh, maybe I feel like sharing one last message that can also be helpful for people. So, um, I was at work lately a bit in a mood of that I wanted to leave, and my ego was a bit anxious and totally done with the job. But I definitely got this intuitive feeling of no, no, you're not gonna quit. And then this voice said to me, um, "You have to make it so much fun that you actually don't want to leave anymore, And that is the point that you will also be ready to let go of the job, because then you learned the lesson. So this was really a clear distinction between my lower self that was in a mood of I'm done with this, I want to go, and the higher loving spirit's voice just showing me the love and that I have to open myself up more. So all this time I got like the message, you have to make it so much fun that you don't want to leave anymore, and then you can leave. So that's now also what I'm working on. And I think, yeah, it's interesting to really feel the difference between a loving perspective and something that tries to run away, which is more fearful. Um, and it's good to make this distinction. Also, quitting, if it feels really good, I would say do it, and it's also spirit that says trust. But if it comes from fear of running away, it's maybe not the best choice. Yeah.
Oh, and that's another way how spirit speaks to me, through other people, because you just spoken to my soul for one situation that I was about, like, I will do it, I don't care. And like, now I'm realizing how much I was coming from my ego.
Mhm.
And now it changes the game for me. I'm like, shit, spirit.
Yes, exactly. That's the response. Like, shit, I don't want this. I want to leave or whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
good. Maybe.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, and you're not the first person who delivers me a message. Usually, it's like, very often I get a hit in my solar plexus, in my, it's not stomach, it's a little bit below the heart, solar center, uh, and that's how I know that this message that another person is telling is for me directly, and even exactly for this or that situation. And I'm like, okay, listen, Lily, listen.
Nice.
It's for you.
Great.
Yeah. Another way how spirit speaks through me is through writing. I get so many epiphany moments, so many realizations, just information comes out from my unconscious, about, usually about myself. Spirit shows me, hey, that's what was happening with you. Hey, this was the obstacle. And it's because of my writing. So through writing, my emotion, I become very emotional depending on the topic I'm writing. And then my emotions show me the message, what was that story all about. So it's a very interesting process. It's even difficult to explain, but writing is another way how spirit communicates to me.
Do you also sometimes? I mean, I did. I haven't done this in a long time, but when I was younger, just started to write like openly without any idea, and then see almost what your hand starts to, yeah, message to you. Yeah. Or is that also what you meant?
And yes and no. I did that without any topic. I channeled group coaching program. I just knew I had urge to that I want to teach a group of people. I just didn't know about what. I was like, I have no idea. But the moment I sat down, my fingers started like working like very fast, and the thoughts started coming to me. I didn't
Mm.
think that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was like a channel just from up to down, up and down. And I was like, whoa. And I was like typing what I need to type, and then I'm watching myself from a side and like cheering myself up. Yeah, Lily, go, go, it's so amazing. It's like two different consciousness being in the
Wow,
same body. It's
that's really cool.
amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Mm.
So yeah, sometimes I'm being called exactly based on my emotions. If I'm going through some relational issues, then I just need to put my emotions on the paper,
Mm.
so to say, and then in that process many new things being uncovered. So it
Okay.
depends. So you can
Beautiful.
also try when some emotion hits you, just
Yeah.
start and write what you feel about, what the story your mind tells you about what is happening with you, and then you might also get surprises from spirit.
Sounds great. Yeah.
What else? Dreams, visions we shared. Basically, everything was touched upon.
I think so too.
Maybe another thing, I don't remember if I mentioned that my feelings, yeah, I think I told it, that my feelings stop me from sharing a message. Did I say that?
No, I don't think
Like
so.
when I am channeling information, when I'm speaking to other people, I know exactly the state, how it feels when the spirit speaks through me. It's like the same like with writing. I feel as two different entities are in my one body, like Lily, like identity of Lily, and some other identity that is speaking. And when I'm in that flow, the state when the spirit uses my body to speak through, then I'm in the flow and I it's loving approach and very inspired. Yeah, my speech is very inspired. Then I don't control anything. It's just like vomiting. Let's say all the message. But when the feeling hits me into my sun center, then I know that that was not spirit, and that's how spirit stops me. Lily, that's not true. Don't tell this because that's not true.
Okay. So you get
So
a hit in your solar
yeah,
plexus.
sometimes it's pretty hard, rough
Hmm.
punch from
Wow.
spirit.
Interesting.
So looks like I covered and you covered everything, unless you have something to add or to ask or.
No, I think this was very complete.
You know what? I have the last question for you, Tilia.
Okay.
What would you recommend for the person who never thought that there is spirit or that spirit communicates with them? Who a person who lived very 3D life and thought that it's only some people are chosen, that they are spiritual, that spirit speaks to them. What would you suggest to that person who becomes more curious to explore their spirituality? Where should they start from, or what is the best tip advice of yours?
That's a very good question. I would say start with meditation and calming the mind more, because if you're so much in your head and believing all the thoughts about life that were made up or given to us, you just lose the connection. Because as we spoke about in the podcast, the source messages us or spirit in the silence. And also, I think if you stop making too many stories with your mind, you realize more the magic of this all and the now and this eternal moment. And from there, you will automatically realize more or get more insights and intuitive guidance, but it all starts with silence, I would say. So meditation, medication.
Yes.
Yeah,
So what I hear from you, you would invite that person. You suggest that person to invite more silence in their routine, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Ye- Okay, beautiful. And I would add actually to this message because silence is really important. Uh, we need to slow down the mind in order to hear the spirit. And yet, also, we need to find our own way how spirit communicates because I discovered that for me, spirit speaks the loudest when I am in my own element. Meaning, like astrologically, there are three. I mean, seen in the whole chart, my chart is more dominant with water and fire elements. Water likes depth, so the silence is needed. Fire loves expression, something creative, something. So for me, I get to communicate with the spirit and when I'm in silence and when I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. So many insights I got about life. My questions were answered in the most random moments during the dance of
Mm.
salsa. I'm
Oh
dancing with
wow.
my partner, my head is totally empty. So I would say that we need to find our own way how to empty the head. If dancing helps to empty the head, this is the form of meditation. If staying on the mattress in silent room helps empty the head, do it. But yeah, what helps actually is astrology chart to realize which element you are in more. And by the way, I can help with that if somebody needs support on that. Just contact me, you know where, and that's it. I would say.
Nice. That's nice to know.
Okay, then beautiful, and let's finish right here, right now. Thank you for those who were watching, who were listening, and see you, hear you in future episodes. By the way, it would be wonderful if you guys would give us some feedbacks. Feel free to ask or to share your story. How does spirit speak to you? Or maybe you don't even believe in all of this mumbo jumbo spirituality. That's also cool. Anyway, would be really nice to hear from you um, a reflection about this topic. That's it, guys. See you, hear you, and have beautiful rest of the day. Ciao, ciao.
Yep.